fast. It never goes that quickly. All right, Greeks. Make sure this is working all right. Yeah, that was like very fast. Usually it takes a little bit for it to kick in. All right. Yeah, today's subject matter. I've been asking. What are we doing here? To be mentally tortured to death. There you go. That was the end. Bye. Yeah, going with the flow. That's the one I told a long time ago. I started doing, or before I started doing this. Yeah, that's all you can do. Because, we have these contracts there's created before we come here, but it doesn't mean they work out. And because it's free will and all, that's why it's kind of the Wild West here. I mean, it can't. It all depends. Yeah, it all depends on your own energy, and it all depends. I mean, yes and no. Things can't work if you keep putting effort into it, depending on what it is. Relationship wise, because personal relationships, those come and go because some don't want to grow, they just want to watch themselves implode. Well, it's funny, that's the positivity, like those that are addicted to it. Obviously, they have not healed themselves, or anywhere near it, or it's just too much there. It's better just to distract yourself with positivity, or there's a lot of spiritual narcissism, and that's different though. The spiritual narcissists are, they're probably going to keep coming back here for a while. We'll see. Yeah, some can't live with themselves and all that. But the positive, because the positivity can only go so far. It's like there's a middle ground. Yeah, you can be positive, but to see things a little bit more clearly, and obviously men are not into that. Whatever. No judgment. Who cares? What was the other thing? Even like these spiritual podcasts, it's mostly spiritual entertainment. They have like all these views and all that, and they're listening to these conversations, and they look like they're so freaking bored. It's like, can we interview this person without falling asleep? Can we interview this person and stay interested? That in itself is kind of entertaining. I'm not interested in that crap. I can't look at it that long. Just for 2 seconds is enough. But it's kind of funny. You can see there's just a disconnect there. Whatever. I guess if you show some enthusiasm, it gets enthusiasm in other people, I guess that works. It's kind of manipulation though when you think about it, but the modern world. But why we are here, is that's a broad, just take it day by day and survive reality. And inner clearings, because we have all these past lives, that, like, I would just say some of our questionable incarnations, the darker incarnations that's where a lot of your bad habits come from. Well, I think sometimes they worked for you at one point. Forever being obsessed with others or for somebody or whatever, and if you're a person of power, you can sometimes get whatever you want, right? But then, okay, you had fun with that, and so now you're poor or whatever, you don't have that power anymore, and I want these things, you can't have them anymore. It's like an inner clearing there. Yeah, it's weird. It's really, it's our connections to other lifetimes are, 'cause I don't talk about past lives that much, but not so much anymore. But past lives are really rooted in this, but they're not always explaining themselves. Like, because there's all connected to our past incarnations of who we are now, and you have certain vices and things like that. But you see, sometimes it's not time to clear them. Sometimes you have to go through. I mean, yeah, sometimes you have to just go through the motions and then clear it. It's weird. It's just, like I said, in other lifetimes, the vices worked out quite well, and it didn't make you the best person in the world, but it was exciting at the time, and now you have to clear it in this lifetime. As you can see, that's why so many people go from relationship to relationship. Sometimes they're just super attractive in a past life and they can just do it whatever they felt like, or they're a royalty, or whatever, or a Casanova type, or whatever it was. If you live in like a small or a decent sized village or somewhere where everybody knows each other, yeah, it's easy to, you know, take advantage of it. Let's put it that way. Depending on who you are, depending on the situation. Not everybody's like that, but some are. Yeah, just clearing all that crap. Easier said than done because you don't always know what you're clearing. And and that's what this life is. This life is so fucking. Yeah, we're there to better ourselves, but it's the longevity to release certain situations from our energy field. It's not always supposed to make any sense, but some, like time heals. Even we don't know what the hell that even means half the time. It's like, what the fuck am I healing? Yeah, what the hell are you healing? You don't know. You really don't know. But I feel like depending on who you are. Some are creating worse habits for themselves here. I've seen that. And of course, they put the word positivity all over it. It's like they're horrible people. It's like, look how positive I am. Okay, parasite, whatever you say. Whatever, you're turning into a parasite now. Of course, there's others, of course, under the Christian umbrella. And there's some judgment there of others. But that's, once again, the Christian umbrella is just for safety because they don't know what the fuck to do with this place. Let's go live in the church land, which is understood for some, or it's a safety net. Yeah, this place is nuts. You can go somewhere, even if they're all crazy there too. But pick your insanity. Just the way it is. It's just, if you live that's why you have so many incarnations here, because you're not always ready to. You might have all the things, job, relationship, or whatever to get you through this life, whatever, or not, whatever. But either way, you got enough to get you through this life, but it doesn't mean you're releasing everything that you intended to, because that's easier said than done. There's some, it's like there's some, it's hard to, I think, whatever, it's just, they don't, that's why incarnating here is such a wild west, because you don't know how it's going to go, really. You have an idea, but it really is it's just like you incarnate to see what happens. So, and when you're in the incarnation, there are certain things you figure out to release to better yourself, and you might not even know you're doing it. You just do it. You just automatically do it. I know I'm super general, but you just kind of better yourself out thinking about it. You just keep going forward, and you want to attract better connections or be whatever it might be. But think like if you have like an incarnation as like a king or a queen or something like that, when you can do practically whatever you feel like, and you create all this crap for yourself, and then you have to slowly flesh it out. Or like there was Antoinette, Marie Antoinette, spoiled life. Of course, there's a lot of princesses here, and so there's that. But also the knight in the white, the knight in shining white armor, whatever. Chivalry. When you're always doing something for somebody else, you never do anything for yourself. So you incarnate to do more for yourself. Yes, you can still do things for others, but it's good to put yourself in that point, And even as an angelic being, angel incarnations are difficult because you're always helping everybody out. Your job is to assist. You're in the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, whatever. You're helping that person. You just help others like constant, like addicted to helping others. And it's like, okay, now I gotta focus on you. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You can get addicted to being away from yourself. I mean, you are with yourself, sort of, but are you fixing your own shit? Probably not. You're fixing everyone else's crap, and it might help you at some level. You make connections there. The hardest thing is to focus on self. So, and that's why you incarnate several times. Like, well, the other thing you incarnate several times, not to torture yourself, but you look at other worlds, and you want to know what you want to accomplish, and this world comes up as number one or whatever. It's like, yeah, this is the hell planet, but if I go there, I can do some inner fixings, and hopefully you get through it. If you can survive yourself, survive your mind. So, of course, there's other worlds like that too, and this one can only go so far, so long. It is closing out slowly. It's not making itself completely sense just yet, but it is like it is kind of ending a cycle. But it's not going to end. It's just going to change drastically at some point. I can't imagine getting super positive here because a lot of people can't heal their shit. They're looking for positive messages, but they can't heal themselves. So it sounds great. It's like eating ice cream. So you eat all this ice cream, everything's all fucking great. But then you have all these other problems with it. It's just, so there's no middle ground. The neutral energy just helps you connect to light and dark and just be more at peace with yourself. But if you're always looking for positivity, and when you try to heal yourself, it hurts. It's too much pain there, which is, that takes time. So there's a majority, if the majority are out there, in the spiritual communities that really just cannot, it's just too ugly to go there. I mean, they're doing some work, but there's so much of a cavern there. Some are, they're current vices, you can say, or just not too happy with the life of debauchery or whatever it might be. There's a lot of princesses here, but then there's a lot of kings here too. There's a lot of whatever. There's a lot of bunch of crap. Spiritual narcissism. It's not a fun one. So that's a lot of arrogant, spiritual arrogance there. That's going to go on. A lot of stuff's going to just go on forever. Maybe not here, but other places. So something about it's like insecurities. They just can't heal themselves. They need to know everything about everything spiritual is very bizarre. That's very odd. I don't know, but that's insecure shit. If you keep calling everyone stupid all the time, that's just insecurity. They might sound like they're smart, telling everyone how they're dumb, but it's like, man, you're so insecure. It's like you're just bleeding out insecurity. And they don't always know they're being obvious about it. Just think they're being smart, but it's actually just showing internal wounds. Always the answer is, or the easiest, going with the flow is all. What else are you gonna do? The mind, do not let the mind drive you too insane, because the mind's usually can set you back, of course. But just calming. That's why sleep is helpful. Just resting, just rest from your problems, you can say. Yeah, it's just so many different ways of looking at everything. But yeah, internal wounds are just, and it's like some that are, at least my interaction recently, just not a spiritual person, but I'm more a narcissist. And I keep running into that shit. But that can be healed. But the narcissists just continue. But they're not really healing themselves internally. So they're walking around with all their baggage. And just, walk around. It's not my job. But just carry on forever. Just look the other way. Carrying all this garbage. Just all this garbage. And and they can keep making the same mistakes over and over again. So, it shows you when you incarnate here, you have a connection, like a possible timeline connection, but instead they kind of stay here stagnant. So, they might look for pleasure and things like that, but they're still carrying around this giant wound that's unhealable. So, and then they try to do the spiritual incarnations, maybe. And then they get used again in a different way. That's something that you're into. More power to you. That's why sometimes they have to cut connections off with some beings. If they're just going to drain you and it's difficult. It's just, I don't know. I guess still astrally still have a connection with them, I guess. Whatever. Drag you down. Yeah, some just don't learn. It's just the way it is. Connect to Elohim. I don't normally show them around. Yeah. I get spiritual consequences, but that's not clear what the hell that even means. But of course, also some of the secret space programs. I bring that up because it's fucking the hot topic. But that can also be a distraction. Even the alien, like all this alien, like all this. We know about the aliens, like that can be a distraction too. I mean, it's good to have some idea, but it's good to just get it on your own. Your aliens on your own. And you get validation of it and get more deeper understanding of it. If it comes to you as a download, that it's more authentic than just connected to someone else's nonsense, basically. So this is on my Galactic night, drama. You want to connect to that? Not really. So they can be sugar. Some of the talk about the galactic connections they have, they're just sugarcoating everything. Which is a manipulation there. Jeez. More spiritual positivity. Weaponized. Yeah, this has been going on for thousands of years, so how can it change overnight? Look. So, alright, connect to Elohim energies, and we'll just go from there. Blessings. Greece here, the Elohim. It's getting in touch with oneself is not as easy as it sounds. There's a lot of entities here trying to distract you, pull you into their energy field, to give them a purpose to exist. So, and they harvest energies. Instead of just freeing yourself from this reality, which you can do, it doesn't mean you have to solve all of your issues. You can solve them in other places. You don't have to do it here. But some are kind of building more karma here because they think they're hiding all of their things they should not be doing. But the idea, one of them, is for you to heal your connection with the earth. And you can still, figure yourself out somewhere else that's a little bit maybe even quicker to heal you can actually see what you're clearing, get more clarity of it, go into it deeper, because the earth is not always, sometimes it makes things worse, as some of you know. So it can be a cure, but also be the opposite of it. For most of you, it is a cure to some level, but sometimes it can be too good of a thing where, yes, you might have made a clearing, but then you create another issue. That's common here. But either way, for the most part, you just follow what's best for you. But the idea is for beings here also to feel like they don't have to incarnate here constantly. Because it has been an obsession to save the earth, and yes, a lot of that's been mind control, and also just to experience the earth experience, just to go through it all. And it's kind of losing its touch. It's not as exciting as it used to. Yes, those lifetimes are just pretty horrific. But once again, there's experiences that you can't get anywhere else. So many of you are, graduating from the Earth's energy. Not that you won't continue to learn from it. And others that are spiritually locked into this Earth, they kind of justify their imprisonment. They kind of put themselves in a jail cell. Well, they're not always willing to heal their ego. There's the dark side of our ego. And so they hold on to this wisdom. Many of those that are, even those that are like, have knowledge of their alien connections, but they're kind of dark also. It doesn't mean they'll stay. They come here, they have all their issues, they have some kind of knowledge people can get from them. They can share. They might be completely toxic, but they still have knowledge, and then they're just out of here. They don't come back ever again. So it's kind of like a nest of lower frequencies. At least there's some groups like that, at least on a spiritual level. So, and yes, many of you just incarnate just to get as much as you can out of this incarnation. And there's all these different points of view. And you're just going by the one that works for you in this incarnation. And sometimes that point of view doesn't help. Sometimes it does. It all depends. Yes, you can be very delusional, and all delusional energies continue locked down on the planet. It's something that you need to hear, but you're not ready to heal yourself internally, or you're avoiding internal healing, and you say you're healed, but you really aren't. There's plenty of that out there. Now just because you have not healed everything, no, that's kind of impossible. You can heal quite a bit, but it's what pieces you're ready to remove. That's, yes, part in the past has been, selfish enjoyment, and at the expense of others. And releasing that isn't always easy. For example, some females, yes, might marry a donkey. Well, a male, that looks like a donkey, just to spite everyone else around them. That's very common. Give you an example. And and they just have reasons for it. Like, this lifetime might not have gone the way they thought it would, and they feel kind of ridiculous at the same time. I don't know, or they're going through a lot of victim energies. Some victims feel like they just need to just continue to be a victim, and yes, they're not ready to heal themselves, and so on. So, but in your path here, the idea also is to not let others block you on your journey. You can do whatever you want, but because you can graduate from the Earth's frequencies, you're not so frequent here so often. Because many do feel like they're trapped here, but that doesn't have to be you. So.